Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about all the mistakes I made in my business. Maybe not all of them, I'm realizing, like some of them, the big ones that I've made in my business, because there really have been a lot. Because that's part of entrepreneurship, right? You're always going to make mistakes, but I'm hoping that by sharing mine with you, you won't make the same mistakes that I did and you'll be able to go forward a little faster. I really wish that I had this information when I first started, so you can thank me later, it's fine. So I've been in business for about 2.5 years-ish, I think now, and I've really learned a lot during that time, and I'm really excited to share it with you. And now I'm a full-time coach. I get to coach people literally all day. That's what I do all day, is I sit behind Zoom on the camera and I coach people on their thoughts and their feelings and their actions that they need to take in order to get any result they want, really. Because I help people achieve impossible goals, things that feel crazy. And it's so fun now that I get to look back and see the mistakes that I've made, and it's so clear to me now what I was doing wrong. And so I want to share that with you so that you don't make any of those mistakes yourself. Okay, so number one is I spent so much time just waiting around, hoping people would find me. I thought that if I just put up a website, or if I just wrote on my Instagram bio, hey, I'm a coach, then I would just be bulldozed over with clients and be have a full schedule just like that. And the reality is it's not like that for all businesses. Some do. If you have a business that's totally in demand, for example, if you're a doctor's practice, people just are searching for that and they look it up and they're just going to bulldoze you over and you're just going to have a full client list and you barely have to advertise, and you certainly don't have to advertise why people should buy the thing that you have. Everybody knows why they should go to the doctors. So it depends what kind of business you have, but I thought that if I just put out a sign saying hey, I'm here, and in my tiny little corner, and didn't really advertise it at all, and just said on my Instagram I'm here, then I would just get a ton of clients. And that's just so not how it works at all. You really have to go out and meet people. You really have to connect with people. No matter what your business is, you've got to get yourself in front of the right audience. And I actually had a relatively large following on Instagram, and I thought that would be enough. But just because you have people who have previously followed you, or because you think that you have a big email list or something like that, doesn't necessarily mean that you can just be hey, I'm here one time and then people will come. People really need to be reminded of why your service is amazing, or the product that you have is totally amazing, and why they need to get on board with it. So that was a huge mistake for me, just thinking that I could just sit back and wait for people to come. And I did that for a good wee while. I don't want to speculate how many months. I just expected people would come, and I'm it's not working. And of course it wasn't working because I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't connecting with my audience. I wasn't connecting with my ideal clients and the people that I wanted to work with. Okay, so the second thing is, when I finally figured out that I can't just sit around waiting for people to come, I was oh, I get it. I need to do all the marketing things. And I started kind of going the opposite direction. I wanted to do everything. I thought I need to have a funnel, and I need to have a website, and I need to have an email list, and I need to be doing webinars, and I need to be doing Facebook advertising and actual physical board advertising and handing out flyers and all of the things. And I kind of got totally swept into it for a long time. And I realize now, it's so funny looking back, how split my energy was into all of these different ideas of what I should be doing, or my idea of what I thought was the right marketing tool to use, when in actual fact, probably any of them would have worked had I just decided that that was the thing that was going to work and I put all of my energy into it. Because lots of marketing tools work. You just have to decide which one you're going to use and then stick to it. And again, what was happening when I was spreading myself so thin is I still wasn't connecting with my audience. What was I doing all day? I was organizing webinars and funnels and email lists and all of the stuff behind the scenes, and never actually still connecting with my audience. I wasn't connecting with the right people at all. And so I just had the same problem. The people just still weren't there. And so I just felt really exhausted and a little bit stupid, to be honest, because I was I've put in all this work and nothing's happening. But of course it wasn't happening because I still wasn't reaching people. I still wasn't connecting with people. And you don't have a business unless you have people. Your people, your customers, your clients, they're the ones who you need to make sure you're connecting with. No matter what business you have, whether you're a doctor or whether you're a builder or whatever it is, you have to be connected with the people. So that was a huge learning curve for me as well. So don't just wait around for nothing to happen. And then when you decide, okay, I'm going to do stuff, like spread yourself so thin and just do all the things. You can't do that either. Please don't try and do all the things. Choose one thing that's going to connect you to your audience and then go and do that. Like, that's what I would tell my past self. Okay, the third thing that I would do all the time is get really distracted doing things that look like business. So for example, my website, I'm like, okay, my website is going to reach people, like that's what I should be working on. So I would change the fonts for hours. I would make the pictures look really pretty, and I would work on like the layout of my website, and I would check out like a bunch of other websites that I loved, and I'd be like trying to make my website absolutely perfect. And I'm not exaggerating when I say I would spend days and days and days just locked in my house working on my website, and still no one was seeing it. And it's just like this huge waste of time. I was getting so distracted. I wasn't serving my clients. I feel like the whole theme of this video is you have to connect with people. If you make that your daily task, that's the key. Okay, so once I figured out that I actually need to be connecting with people, and that's the thing that I should be doing, I did absolutely everything I could to avoid doing that. So because I knew it was so important, it became this huge like freak out for me, and it was like, oh my gosh, I have to connect with people, and it had to be perfect in my brain. And I realized that that's totally not the case. Of course, you don't have to do anything with perfection. In fact, just getting it done is so much more important. But I would get so distracted. And there's this really amazing quote that I always come back to now, and it's by Stephen Covey, and he says, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. So the main thing is to keep connecting with people, the main thing that you do, instead of all of the other stuff that you think is creating you a business, when really it's not. Like the logos or the website or all the pretty pictures, all of that stuff, like that stuff can come later. It totally isn't what gets you clients. But I was getting so distracted thinking like I needed to be doing a million things, or just straight up procrastinating because I didn't feel like doing the main thing. The last one I'm going to share with you today is that I burned my weapons. So there's this saying, if you want to take the island, burn the boats. And so it's this idea that if you want to take over the island, you've arrived via boat, then you should burn all of the boats so you don't have any option but to succeed. So it's like, quit your job so that you've got no security and you have to make the thing work, right? So I was like, okay, I'll do that. I'll just quit my job and like hopefully everything will work out because like that's what I'm supposed to do. But if you're going to take an island, you've got to have the weapons. You've got to be ready for combat. And I was not ready for combat at all. I arrived in wearing sandals and a t-shirt and hi, with no weapons at all. So basically I had no tools to work with. I'd spent all of my money. I didn't have any kind of resources to go with. And so I was kind of turning up to my dream, having burned all the boats, burned every other opportunity behind me, believing that if I did that, I would make it work. And then I just ended up stuck because I didn't have any resources or any tools, and I had no idea how to make it work. And I think that's the thing, go in, burn all the boats for sure, but make sure you have a plan. Make sure you know exactly where you're going to go and what you're going to do before you burn all the boats behind you. Make sure you've got a little something. So either you need a runway of money, you need a cushioning, some money that you have in an account saved for if anything goes wrong. You want to make sure that you have a plan to actually go ahead with instead of just jumping in and hoping to make it work. And you probably want to know some people or have some mentors who've done it, who aren't 20 million years away. So in my mind, I had all these mentors who had done it, but they were all kind of people like Tony Robbins or Brendon Burchard. So they weren't people who I knew personally. So something that's really, really helped me is being in communities of people who have personally done what I have now done, which is building a business and building a full-time coaching practice. But initially I didn't have that. I didn't have that community of people to ask questions with. I kind of had a community of people who also didn't know what they were doing, which is amazing to have those growth friends, but you have to also have people who know what they're doing to guide you a little bit, because you don't want to just be going in completely with your eyes closed. You want to have a little bit of a plan, a little bit of money to back you up, and then go ahead, burn the boats, quit your job, do all of that. I hope that this has helped you, because I would give anything to have this video back when I had first started a couple of years ago. And so it doesn't really matter what business you're in right now. Whatever you're starting, make sure you find out the things that you need to be doing that are the most important things, and then go and do them specifically, because I can probably guarantee that they're probably not even going to take more than a couple hours a day for you to do those things. And yet as entrepreneurs, we spend like 16 hours a day. That's another thing. When I first started, I was working like from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep. Like just doing random things that totally didn't matter. Changing the font on my website. Don't do it. Find out what really matters. Find out what actually generates revenue for you and what actually is going to make an impact in your business, and go and do those tasks, okay? I beg you. Write them down. Put them on your fridge. Make them so obvious, somewhere where you're going to see them every day, and then go and do them. All right? I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your morning, evening, or night, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Before I go, leave me a comment to let me know what your biggest struggle in business is, and I will reply back to your comment. And make sure you check out my Impossible Girls Facebook group, because this is where we're having these kind of conversations. There's lots of experts in there. There's lots of community in there of people who have built businesses already, who can help you if you're building a business, or if you've just got another impossible goal that you want to work on. That's the place to be. So make sure you check that out. The link is going to be in the description. Okay, I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.